Well, let us see what is the next best thing that Blender has to offer us. With that being said, and let me show you what I have prerequisitely done here. I have created a sphere, which is a quad sphere, and then I have created a plane. For those who don't know how to create a quad sphere, you need to go to edit, you need to go to preferences, and then in the add-ons section you need to type here extra, and you have to make sure that this option is ticked. And then if you go to add, go to mesh, and then go to round cube, and in the round cube, if you go over here, you will get a quad sphere. That's how you can get a quad sphere. This sphere is different from our normal sphere. Our normal sphere is having this converging, which is not happening in quad sphere. So quad sphere is important, and with that we will select this object and then go from object mode to sculpt mode, and then we will see today's special guest, cloth brush. So the moment we click on this brush, we get a little bit of options here. So with the cloth brush selected, I will just click and drag on this object. We get a wrinkles, and it behaves like it's a cloth. And there are two circles you can see over here. One is the orange circle, one is the light orange circle, one is the gray circle, which is a very big circle, and inside that big circle there is a dotted gray circle. That defines how far the simulation can go. If I click over here and do this thing, it has a limit beyond which it can't affect, and if I go beyond that thing, a red mark comes that you are going out of your limits. So that's how this brush works. You just need to click and drag to get cloth like effect. Let me Control Z this thing off, and then we will see in this active tool and workspace settings. You can also get this over here in the tools, and where this and this is useful is if we come over in the viewport section and control space bar, then you can get rid of this part, and then you can get this option over here, with the help of which you can change the properties over here. So that's it. That's why it is given there. So let me get rid of this part, and then simulation, and let me show you what other options are provided here. Simulation area, which is local. If I click and drag over here, it has a local effect, and if I go over here in the global part, and if I click and drag over here, it is going to affect the entire sphere. So simulation limit, how far the simulation must go. If I click and drag over here, it is going up to here. You can increase the limit by clicking and dragging over here in the simulation limit, and now if I click and drag over here, the simulation is taking place very far away. And if we reduce this limit and click and drag over here, the simulation limit is very controlled, and it has a very small radius. Simulation fall off, how the fall off must take place. If I increase it completely and click over here, you can see there is a sharp fall off over here, and if we reduce this value something like 0.2 and click and drag over here, then you can see the fall off is very smooth. So for that, this is provided. Let me go to local and pin simulation boundary. This parameter, the difference between this parameter without pin simulation boundary and with pin simulation boundary is that if I click and drag over here, the edges are having a smooth fall off, and if I click over here pin simulation boundary and click and drag over here, it's going to give a softer fall off to the brush stroke. I hope I am making myself as clear as possible. With that, let me get rid of all these things, and then I will come to the next parameter, which is deformation drag. If we click and drag over here, the cloth will be deformed. Let me get back to default values. If I click and drag over here, the cloth is getting dragged, and if I click over here, the push, it is going to push the part inside. If I pinch point, if I click and drag over here, it is going to pinch at the center part of the stroke. The next is pinch perpendicular. If I click and drag over here, if I am clicking and dragging over here like this, it is going to pinch it in this direction as well as in this direction. If I click and drag over here like this, it is going to pinch in this direction as well as this direction. It is going to pinch it out. So pinch perpendicular is that thing. And then we have inflate. Inflate is if you are filling air into a balloon, then we are saying that we are inflating the balloon. In the same way, we can inflate over here, and we can get the mesh outside, protrude it outside. Then we have grab, with the help of which we can grab the mesh. And the next thing is expand. If we click and drag over it, it is going to expand it, and it is going to expand it from the center of the stroke. And the next parameter is force fall off. How you want the force to be. Let me bring it back to drag, and radial is going to give us a radial brush. And the next thing is plane, which is going to give us a line brush. And this harsh effect is because of the simulation fall off and the pin simulation proper boundary. Let me switch it off and get the fall off, a very smooth fall off. And then if I click and drag over here, this is how this brush is going to act. This is very useful when we are creating bed sheets which are kept over beds. There you can use this brush. That's a very wonderful option we have been provided by the Blender developers. And the next thing is cloth mass, how thick or how heavy the cloth will be. If I reduce this to 0.2 and click over here, it is like a silk cloth. And if I click and drag over here, and now if I click and drag over here, it is going to act like a jeans which has been created by a thick fabric. That's how this cloth mask works. Cloth damping, how you want the cloth to behave. In the cloth damping, let me go over here, and at 0.01, this is how the cloth damping is going to affect. And if I click and drag over it and click and drag, the damping will be more. And this is how this brush will be working. I will reduce it back to default value. Soft body plasticity, how soft you want the cloth to be. At 0%, this is how the stroke will be, and at 1, the plasticity will be very sharp. If I reduce it back to here, the plasticity is very now the cloth is made up of a thick rubber. That's how this is going to affect. So that's it for this, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and leave a wonderful comment. If you want to support me, you can support me through watching the ads which are following on these videos completely, through which we can generate the ad revenue, which will go entirely for the research. And the next best thing that you can do to support me is through Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, through the number 8600647757, or you can also support me through Patreon's page. Links will be given in the description. Until then, try to see it, learn it, understand it. I will see you in the next video.
Veda.